So while we have an AI that can wander around and even when we get close enough, chase us, and we've even discussed things to make him more responsive and dynamically responsive with things like utility scoring, we are going to run into an issue at some point, which we haven't really run into yet, but this is going to start to spiral out of control in size and become quite annoying to manage as this tree keeps growing and growing and growing. And then as well is we have pretty generic behavior in this tree so far, don't we? We have a simple patrol functionality that likely a lot of different state trees across a game would be able to use. So are we really going to like copy paste this into everywhere, and then when we want to change something, do we need to go into every single one of those state trees to update that code? That seems like not a great way to do it. The same thing with chasing the player. We can take away a couple of things that we did in the last video, but that also seems like maybe we should make it a little bit more reusable. Effectively, what we want is we want this entire state tree to just be the patrol state and the chase state, which both reuse modularly placeable code. So that's exactly what we're going to do, because I finally want to talk about linked assets. I talked about them a little bit in the first video. Talked about the difference between subtrees and linked assets, and how linked assets are effectively just a more organized way to deal with subtrees. So we're going to effectively never use the actual subtree type, just use linked assets. So let's make a couple of assets to link, shall we? I'm just going to keep the state tree here as the main one, and I'm going to copy it over, and I'm going to call this patrol. And I'm going to copy it over again, and we're going to call this chase target. So if I now open up the patrol state tree, it's going to be the exact same thing. We can throw out everything to do with chasing, because this is only going to do the patrol routine. We don't need this root state anymore either, so we can take this patrol and put it up at the top and get rid of the original root. This is only going to be, hey, we're going to patrol, we're going to move to, we're going to wait, and this in and of itself loops, which is potentially okay to do, because in our state tree itself, we have transitions that can cancel out of the patrol state. For the sake of making this video and teaching you something, we're going to change that as well. So first and foremost, we're trying to transition from patrol to chase anymore, which doesn't exist anymore. So we can delete this transition, because that transition is going to be handled within the state tree itself. And here we just try to select children at order, and we can get rid of all of the selection utilities that we made in the last video on both of these. And now wait tries to go back to root, which obviously doesn't exist anymore. So what we can do is we can either make this go back to the patrol state. And as you can see, by the way, I'm now in 5.5, and this little drop-down menu is a lot more readable. It's actually so much improved. But we can go back to patrol, which will make this loop. So when we enter the state in our actual state tree, it will loop until this transition happens and we go to a different state. That is realistically probably what we want to do. But alternatively, what we can do is we can finish the state tree. That's a concept that we haven't really discussed yet this far. State trees have this concept of being finished. And if it's just the main state tree that you're running on anything at all, when you finish the state tree, it's just going to actually finish. It's going to stop running and it will have done its thing. Unlike a behavior tree, which you can force to stop from externally, but they're not really meant to be ended. They're meant to continuously just keep running. State trees have built-in functionality to stop. And that mostly comes in useful with these sub-state trees, because when a sub-state tree, or a linked asset, as we call them, marks itself as being completed, that is then seen as the completion of the state within the parent state tree. So on patrol, after we finish waiting, instead of transitioning to the patrol base state again, what we're going to do is we're going to set this tree as having succeeded. We can also set it to having failed, and that will then count as specifically the state having either succeeded or failed, which we can use for transition information as well. In this case, we just care about it having completed at all, so it doesn't really matter. So we're going to mark this as succeeded. Now, let's go back into our main state tree, and I'm going to remove effectively everything. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to remove this and this, so that we only have the patrol state and the chase state left. This is all that this main state tree is going to be, and it's going to use these other assets for the actual behaviors, so that when this enemy starts becoming more and more complex, the main state tree itself is still nice and readable. Of course, the downside to doing this, I should point out, is that where before we had the possibility of going from any state within our patrol sequence to any other state in our entire state tree, that no longer is possible between different assets, of course. But since these states only really need to change between patrol as a whole or chase as a whole, we don't need to move from move to immediately, explicitly, exactly into jumping, which would be attacking if I had an attacking animation. So it's not that big a deal, but there might be reasons that you don't want to section off certain things into their own separate assets, because it does make going from specifically one state to specifically another state sometimes a little bit more difficult to deal with. But it also makes everything a lot more reusable, which is usually a good thing. So let's change this from just a normal state to being a linked asset, and then the linked asset that we're going to link to this will be the patrol asset. You can see that it has the parameters that we set up on this thing because we just copied it over. We actually just want to bind this to the parameter for walk distance that we have on the main tree so that it forwards it to still work properly. And that's pretty much everything there is to it. So let's also set up the chase target, which again, we don't need anything to do with the patrol. We can just move chase to be the new route, get rid of the original route. And then after we finish up waiting, we can add a transition to mark this as the tree having succeeded. Now, if you remember correctly, this run to target uses a move to non-AI. If we open it up in the editor, we can see that we have a couple of different situations where the finish task actually finishes as a non-success. So in this case, what we could do is if this fails at all, we can set up a transition on state failed. We set that up as the first thing. We can say that the tree as a whole failed, so that it doesn't jump and it doesn't do the waiting. Just when it fails running, it's going to stop this tree altogether, and it's going to mark that as having failed, just in case whatever is running this tree cares about it having succeeded or failed. And of course, in the chase state itself, we have this transition to patrol, which no longer is needed in the sub asset. So with that, we can change this all around, and this should work now. And we can go into the state tree itself that we're working with on the character, and chase will now also become a linked asset. Of course, that'll be the chase target asset. This one doesn't need a walk distance though, so we can actually go back in here real quick and just remove this as a thing. This thing also doesn't need to get starting location, so we don't need to like double check that. And I don't know if this thing at any point uses the distance to target. I think it might, but it probably doesn't. Either way, it's probably better to forward that as a parameter. So we might as well delete that too. Now in the patrol state, now that I think about it actually, we probably don't want to generate get start location on this, because this will generate a get start location every single time this subtree runs, meaning that it's going to get its origin position at the position that it is whenever we enter this state. We want that origin position to be provided from the start of when the parent tree, this one, the actual state tree that we're running, starts. So this will use the get start location. This one doesn't need that at all either. And I don't think like we're using the distance to target thing anywhere at all. So we can just get rid of that. But we can add a new parameter, which will be a vector to the patrolling state. And the name for that will be origin location, something like that. And then in the find location task, we can set our origin to be our parameter origin location. Going back into the state tree, now if we go back to patrol, we'll see that we also have this origin location as a parameter now. And we can bind that to our get start location from our evaluators on our main tree. So we're forwarding this information from our main tree to only the subtrees that require it. And we also really don't need this enter condition for the cooldown anymore on the chase target, now that I think about it. So let's remove that as well, because that cooldown also still exists on the state tree itself, the parent one. So you don't need to double up on that, because that will actually mess things up. Because when it enters this, it's going to set a new cooldown. And then when it would enter this, it would check the cooldown again and not run and get stuck. So yeah, do make sure that if you're like copying stuff over like this, you remove unneeded transitions, because they can actually like double up and conflict with each other. But now that we have all that, we effectively have the exact same thing happening here that we did before, except that it doesn't wait anymore, because I guess technically when it jumps, it also aborts this movement. So it sees this as having failed. So I think we just want to get rid of this. But aside from that, like little quirky difference, we have exactly the same AI now that we did before. We did a bunch of work to get back to the same point and added nothing new. But the upside of all of this is, number one, a little bit more readability, as I said before, because the actual state tree on the character now only has 2 states. And if we want to go into those states themselves also only have 2 or 3 states themselves. Matter of fact, this can just kind of get rid of the top one as well to make them even easier to deal with. And now if we make a different state tree that has like more other stuff aside from this, or maybe only uses the patrol and then has some entirely different behavior instead of chase, or the other way around, maybe something that only chases and doesn't really need to do a like idle patrolling or whatever, we can reuse this stuff. And then if we decide that actually we want to make this a little bit more intelligent, instead of just move to wait, we only have to do it in this one place, and then everything that uses this linked asset will instantly reflect that with updated behavior. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. And of course, an extra massive thank you to my Cave Digger tier supporters, Sir J. Thomas, and my Cave Student tier supporters, Oiku and Earl Monsville Urno.